Hey there YouTube, Arlene here. I need to start off with, I am so sorry. This video took 5 years for me to finally make. As you can see by the title, today I'm finally going to be going over kind of my notes and recollections of New York Comic Con 2019. And yes, I am posting this in December of 2024, a little over 5 years and 2 months after the event. You guys already know and have seen the videos over the past 5 years. Things have been a bit chaotic for me. Obviously, pandemic happened shortly after, and things have just been kind of spiraling since. But we're finally in a good place, and I thought, hey, 5 years, that's a pretty good mark to revisit such a topic. And again, the main reason is we haven't really done much cosplay on this channel in a while, and the last one we really did was my Honey Lemon armor that James and I were so proud of, and we never actually finally gave the final looks. You might have seen it on my Instagram, but we never really debuted it here in its finished form. So I wanted to make sure we give that highlight to it, and also just for me to reminisce on some really good times. And yeah, so I'm just going to jump right into it. We're going back, 2019. So thankfully, past me was really organized, and she actually wrote down notes in case it took not this long, but took me a long time to finally get to the video. So I do have some good points here that I want to just kind of reiterate, again, reminisce on, and kind of give my feedback of what it's like going to a convention, especially in such detailed cosplays as I have done in the past. So I did a 4-day Comic-Con in 2019, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was a lot to go through, but I boiled it down to, I think, just some good points, again, just about the cosplay community and working and wearing cosplays. So day one, I went as Hilda. This is a lovely children's series I found on Netflix, found out that it was a whole book series. It is originally from Europe, one of the Scandinavian countries. I don't remember exactly which one off the top of my head, but it is just such a lovely story about a girl and her adventures, and I just really connected very well with the character. So I was able to do her some pretty good justice in a very, probably the most comfortable cosplay I've ever done, and all of the clothing pieces I wear in this costume I actually wear in my day-to-day life ever since. So got there very early, was essentially one of the first people in the door, and I beelined it towards the Hilda booth, because I'm one of those very organized, so I had to make sure to look at all of the different convention booths that were going to be there that year, and I saw that Hilda was having a booth, so I just beelined it. Once I arrived, they had this huge like kind of photo shoot set up, so you can actually sit in the woodman's hut. He's an animated being made of wood. He just kind of makes Hilda's home his home, even though he has his own little hut. And so as Hilda, I got to visit it and do some poses outside of it. The people running the booth thought it was so cute. My whole outfit, and again, super comfy, just a beret, a yellow scarf, a red hoodie, blue dress, some tights, and some red Uggs, or knockoff Uggs, I should say. All this was just stuff I was very easily able to just purchase online. Didn't have to actually make any of it, but it was just the putting it together, and and obviously the blue wig. Being able to put all of it together and become her was very fun, and to get all the little goodies from them was very fun. Then just walked the entire floor, tried to keep it a pretty easy day because it was just me this day, and it was Thursday, so things are kind of pretty low-key. So I just wanted to get a good layout of the land beforehand, and then at night I saw that they had a 3D printing workshop. Obviously, coming into this type of hobby, 3D printing becomes very eye-catching and alluring very quickly, and I wanted to get some better information and background from people that have been doing this for a while, so I can make an informed decision on a printer and the different types of materials that they could use. Again, this was 5 years ago, the 3D printing business has boomed since then, so a lot has changed. But I was able to take a lot of great notes from the people at RocketProps, and they did a fantastic job, really laid it out. And I haven't made that purchase just yet, but I actually have made a few friends in the community that have provided me access to their 3D printer. So just a quick nod and hope you might see some 3D printed things in the future. So just keep an eye out for those. But RocketProps was absolutely amazing, and they have some really cool stuff too. I'll get to that later. And then as I was leaving the convention center, I did just a kind of a side note. I ran into this cute little, I want to say 5 or 6-year-old. She immediately recognized who I was in the character and was just gushing. Her mom was like, "Can we please take some photos with you?" And that just kind of reminded me, hey, this is not the reason why I do it. I dress up as these characters and kind of embody them because they mean something impactful to me. But it is very cool to then bring that character to life for kids. Do it for the kids. This is James' always go-to thing here, especially with all of his work with Extra Life. So that was just a heartwarming moment that I wanted to share, and that little girl, I think I made her night, and that was just really cool. So then moving into day 2, again, wanted to kind of keep it pretty low key, because Saturday is usually the intense day, I feel like. So I went as Spider-Gwen. Again, this was just a suit that I was able to purchase online. I did make a few alterations to it. Specifically, I actually sewed in metallic thread into the fingertips so that I could continue to use my phone as a touchscreen phone while I was out and about. That came very much in handy because these one-piece suits, you have to take the whole thing off to access your hands, and obviously that can run into some problems when running in public. I actually have a whole video on that, and where I sourced the thread and how I actually did it from, again, over 5 years ago. So if you want to go look at that, please do. But yeah, so that was a very fun time. Again, try to keep it a very chill day. It was a very common costume. People still want to take pictures, obviously, which is very fun. And I decided not to go with the mask. The suit I did purchase did come with a really cool mask, and you could actually see through the eyes very well. But because I wear glasses, I decided to go with the wig look instead. And then in addition to the fingertips, I also purchased actual ballet flats that were, I don't know how I found them, but the exact right color, so it perfectly blends in with the rest of the costume. You really can't tell that these shoes are separate from the actual outfit, the onesie itself. So that was pretty cool. And then, as I mentioned, the previous night I went to the 3D printing seminar hosted by RocketProps. Lo and behold, who did I run into at dinner this evening? Was the people at RocketProps and Mink the Saytr. They were absolutely so wonderful to talk to. We just sat down for dinner. I looked over, I'm like, they actually noticed me. They're like, "Hey, were you wearing a blue wig yesterday?" And I was like, "Yes, oh my god, I was." And we ended up having a wonderful conversation. Again, I'm huge fans of theirs. RocketProps actually, a few years ago now, released his own patented bevel. I highly recommend. Again, this is totally not sponsored. I just love his work. And Mink the Saytr as well. She's a fantastic cosplay influencer. They just do so much, and sincerely, please go check them out. They are absolutely wonderful, and I had just a great conversation just talking with them, talking about the community and making those connections. Again, that's probably the best. Again, another part, not just being able to embody a character you love, being able to bring that character to life for others, but it's also just such a wonderful community. I will stipulate not everyone in the community, unfortunately, but I would say on the general total of it, the majority are such wonderful, amazing, creative people, and being able to make those connections is just really cool. It again makes you feel not so alone, and it's just awesome. So yeah, check out RocketProps and Mink the Saytr. They are so awesome. And yeah, make an impact. Go for it. You never know who's going to become a fan of yours. And then came day 3, again the big day. So this was on Saturday, and I finally got to wear my honey lemon battle outfit. It looked so good. Oh my god! I actually wore it for this past Halloween at work. I was surprised it still fit. It barely, to be perfectly honest, but it fit. And oh my god, it looks so good. It came out so absolutely fantastic. One thing I do want to say, if you do follow our tutorial, we did use just a standard helmet template that James got from, I cannot remember the name off the top of my head. I want to say Bob the Builder, but I know that's not right. I will put the name up here on the screen somewhere of the template that we used. And when trying it on, when we did it in the workshop space, it fit absolutely perfectly. Well, I was wearing a wig underneath this helmet, which made it a little tight. So please keep that in mind for any of your helmet projects, to keep in mind if you're going to have anything else on your head at the time. But otherwise, it was great. Again, in addition to that, when it comes to actual fit, when it comes to helmets and cowls and things like that, bringing it from the screen to real life, it's not always practical. And you guys know me; I'm a practical human. I like things to be functional over aesthetically pleasing. 2 things to point out. Yes, I could turn majority of my head in this helmet, but the shoulders. So you guys might have seen maybe like behind the scenes of like the Avengers and things like that. What a lot of the superheroes wear for those action stars is they wear a vest and then something to go over the top of it. Well, the way that we made this, we did do a vest type of foam top, but it wasn't exactly flexible much in the back. So I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but you know your chicken wing back here, your scapula, that couldn't really move around very well, and I couldn't move my shoulders up and down because we did the vest portion, so the arms weren't attached. We had the separate pauldrons, but because it went up my neck and was connected, that caused a little bit of problem with being able to turn my head fully. I could really only do like 45 instead of a 90. And I couldn't put really my shoulders up and down. So something to think about in the future, if we kind of do armor like this. I definitely prefer this armor in that really thin, I think it was 3mm, or yeah, I want to say it was 3mm foam that we used, especially compared to the armor we did for James quite a while back, for the inspired by his Destiny character. We used that really thick 10mm foam, and it worked well for his, but I know he had a very similar problem with the movement. So again, just things we need to continue to kind of figure out. Hopefully we'll do something else very similar to that soon and continue to adjust as we go. But otherwise, I had a pretty damn good time. Just need to do some stretches afterwards. One other thing I definitely want to point out. Again, it looks lovely. Just look at it. It's so great. Again, I'm so proud of it, and I was very easily recognizable as that character. And again, the majority of the outfit was very, very comfy. Sewed the dress, purchased the the athletic wear that then went underneath the matching pants and the top. The boots, I just spray painted some shoes I got at DSW for like $20 and put some construction paper around it for the actual buckles. But then when it came to the bag, you had all those lovely little balls just glued on. I've now learned hot glue is not the best with plastic. It's just not. I want to get it done. You guys saw we were kind of rushing towards there at the end. Yeah, as most cosplayers do, we always rush our projects. We love to think of these lovely grand ideas and then wait until literally the night of, usually, to get it done. But obviously I didn't have that night of fiasco, but I did have days before situation going on to take it with me to New York. But someone did say, oh, are these balls detachable? Much like her props are in the actual movie. And my best friend who was there at the time said, yes, they are, but didn't get to finish her sentence of don't touch them, because yes, they kept detaching, like they kept falling off, and thankfully I brought like some double-sided tape with me so I could keep sticking them on as they would fall off. But this guy just heard this and immediately reached out and grabbed one. Don't touch people or their props without asking first. This guy felt absolutely horrible afterwards. And I think he learned his lesson, but I want to make it perfectly clear. It's like, yes, we are here to take pictures and to interact with you guys, but don't touch or grab anything without permission, even if it is just a prop and not the human being themselves. But otherwise, it came out so good, and I'm so happy with it. And it's still in my basement. I'll put a picture here. It's still in my basement on beautiful display because I love it. It's easily one of my favorite projects that we ever worked on this channel. And then day 4, again, I really only like to do one big heavy cosplay day. The rest should be a little bit more easy to manage so I can actually enjoy all of the booths and everything at Comic-Con. But day 4, I just decided to go as Alice. This is actually a dress that I purchased from Comic-Con the year before. It just threw on one of probably my cheapest blonde wig at the time, and just walked around with that. And they had a cute little, it's not Alice in Wonderland themed at all, but they had a little tea party scene set up. They have so many different like picture place taking areas to fit multiple different types of characters, and we just saw this one and was like, oh well, this is just perfect photo op opportunity for Alice. So we were able to do that, and again, it was very easy. Corset, not so easy to get in, but otherwise a lovely easy day. It was a great end. And then one thing I did want to point out, I want to say did happen on day 4, was my favorite cosplay of someone else that I saw. It was better than mine, hands down, throughout the entire con of that weekend. I'm going to put the picture here. This guy, absolute genius, and I thank him so much. Essentially, he was in a lot of lines, and if you've ever been to a con, those lines can get really, really long, and you can get very bored for hours just waiting in one line. Well, he decided to help people through the boredom. So as he would wait in line, the people around him could play on either side their own arcade game. I don't remember exactly which arcade games he had, but he was just rolling around with both of these arcade units strapped to his front and his back, and it looked so cool. It was a mobile arcade, fully functional, and oh my god, like even people not waiting in line. Oh no, I lost my light. Oh well. Anyways, so many people would just stop, like they weren't even waiting in line, they would ask to play. And you could just keep walking and keep playing, and I mean, talk about an icebreaker. I mean, it was just so cool, and I give him such props. One, putting this thing together, it must have been heavy as hell. It must have been quite a challenge to get through security with it. But oh my god, it was so cool. And thank you for providing a service to all con goers, because that is probably the most annoying part, is just the waiting around to get to see something. And he killed it. It's the unsung heroes, truly. So people like him, and I don't know if you guys have seen many of the cosplay medics, as it were, that go to conventions as well, that they help people whose cosplays are falling apart while they're trying to enjoy their time. It's people like that I respect and wish to provide them more praise than I think they ever get. because it's so selfless and, you know, it makes it fun all at the same time. So yeah, this guy rocks. And that's kind of my summary story time of my 2019 Comic-Con that I can remember 5 years later. Again, thankfully my notes helped me out a lot, but you can tell how memorable these experiences are. And sincerely, if you have the chance and ability to go to any of these conventions, I highly recommend it. The community is so unbelievable. But yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And you guys finally get to see the completion of Honey Lemon. Again, James and I are so proud of, and we want to do more projects like this in the future now that life events have finally started to even out a little bit. But yeah, thank you guys so much again for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please leave us some notes or comments below about anything you guys want to see from us in the future. If you guys, again, please check out RocketProps and Mink the Saytr. Again, completely unsponsored. I just think they're really cool people that y'all should check out. But yeah, hope you guys have a great holiday season, and you guys will see a lot more of me coming up. As I said, schedule's calm, so hopefully we can do a lot more with you guys in the next few years. Again, take with a grain of salt. Things happen, life happens. But yeah, this is something I want to pick up more steadily again, and I want you guys to hold me accountable, please. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!